Today we're going to be looking at the great German composer Carl Maria von Weber. We're going to be looking at his opera Der Freischutz. As a bit of background, as we recall, a key feature of 19th century Romanticism was the connection between literature and music. This relationship was most keenly developed by composers from German-speaking lands, seen in opera, song, and instrumental music. German opera was built on the Singspiel. This was a Viennese genre, which means play in song. 19th century German composers took romantic elements from French opera and endowed their operas with their own national features. Carl Maria von Weber, who was born in 1786 and who died in 1826, wanted to establish a new German operatic tradition. His opera Der Freischutz, which translates as The Free Shooter, which was premiered in Berlin in 1821, established the genre of the German Romantic opera. What cemented Der Freischutz's reputation at the time was both its innovative use of orchestration and its focus on the common man and his humanistic interests and concerns. Both of these features were revolutionary at the time and symptomatic of their thinking during this period. The libretto of Der Freischutz embodies the essence of German Romantic opera. It is also a reflection on the interests of Romantic composers in general. Von Weber, like the other composers of the Romantic period, was interested in topics that dealt with fantasy, the mystical, the otherworldly, medieval history, legend, fairy tales, and the supernatural. Just as importantly, it shows how these phenomena intertwine with the lives of ordinary people and their destinies. In a sense, human beings act not only as themselves, but also embody superhuman forces, both good and evil. This fixation on physical and moralistic elements set German opera apart from French and Italian opera. At the same time, the use of folk tunes gives it a distinctly German national element. As we learned last week, Italian opera focuses on beautiful singing, what we described as bel canto. In contrast, German opera is characterized by its imaginative use of color in harmony and orchestration. Der Freischutz tells the story of Max, a young huntsman or ranger from Bohemia. He is encouraged by the evil Casper, a fellow ranger, to take part in a shooting contest, which is a test of his marksmanship, so that he can win the hand of Agatha. Casper has sold his soul to the devil Samiel. Casper lures Max in the dead of night to a wolf's glen in the famous wolf's glen scene in the finale of Act 2, where he casts 7 magic bullets, which are imbued with the power to make Max win the contest. Casper curses the last bullet so that it will kill Agatha. However, when she walks in front of the bullet, she is protected by an old hermit's magical wreath, and the bullet kills Casper instead. The Wolf's Glen scene has elements of the melodrama, in that there is spoken dialogue with background music in the orchestra. It has certain distinct features, such as a diminished 7th chord in the background. This melodrama device influenced other composers. The opera makes use of distinct keys, motifs, and characters. This influenced later composers such as Wagner. Von Weber makes use of tritone-related and third-related harmonies, diminished 7th chords, and string tremolos. He established these as idiomatic devices with preset connotations which remain in use to this day. Von Weber's innovative use of orchestration, particularly his combination of woodwinds and horns, influenced Berlioz, Mahler, and Debussy. After Der Freischutz, Weber went on to write 2 more operas. When he was in London to conduct the premiere of his last work, Oberon, he died of tuberculosis at the age of 39. We are going to look at the musical devices von Weber uses in the Wolf's Glen scene. Speaking his lines over an orchestral background, Casper first invokes Samuel, the devil. Then, as he casts each bullet, he counts 1, 2, 3, and so on, with the mountains echoing each count. For each casting, Weber portrays the dark forest in different ways. He uses imaginative orchestration, exploiting the different timbres of the instruments, timpani, trombones, clarinets, and horns over tremolos in the strings. He also uses diminished and augmented intervals and chromaticism to depict evil. An off-stage chorus enforces the supernatural elements of the narrative. The entire scene revolves around a diminished 7th chord E-flat, F-sharp, A, C. This chord represents Samuel. We will look at each of the different features of the scene now in more detail. Here we can hear an off-stage chorus reinforcing the supernatural elements of the narrative. Here we can hear Casper invoking Samuel the devil.
Bei des Zauberers Hirngebein. Samuel, Samuel, erschein! Was rufst du? Dass meine Frist schier abgelaufen ist.
Morgen!
Verlängere sie noch einmal mir.
Nein!
Ich bringe neue Opfer dir.
Welche?
Mein Jagdgesell ernaht, der noch nie dein dunkles Reich betrat.
Was ist sein Begehr?
Freikugeln sind's, auf die Hoffnung baut.
6 treffen. 7 Effen.
Die 7. sein Heim aus seinem Rohr, lenkt sie nach seiner Braut, dies wird in der Verzweiflung ihn und den Vater.
Noch hab ich keinen Teil an ihr.
Genügt dir allein?
Das findet sich.
Doch schenkst du Frist, und wieder auf 3 Jahr bring ich in dir zur Beute dar.
Es sei beiden Pforten der Hölle. Morgen! Er oder du!
Trefflich bedient. Gesegnet, Samuel. Er hat mir warm gemacht. Aber bleibt denn Max? Soll ja wortbrüchig werden. Samuel, hilf!
In einen Höhlenpfuhl zu schauen, wie dort sich Wetterwolken ballen, der Mond verliert von seinem Schein. Gespenstgenehe Bilder wallen, belebt ist das Gestein. Und hier, husch, husch, fliegen Nachtgevögel auf im Busch. Rot-graue Nargezweige strecken nach hier die Riesenfaust. Nein, ob das Herz auch graust, ich muss, ich trotze Höllenschrecken.
Samuel, kommst du endlich, Kamerad?
Ich schoss den Adler aus hoher Luft, ich kann nicht rückwärts mein Schicksal ruht. Weh mir!
So kommt doch die Zeit
Ich kann
ein.
nicht hinab.
Klimmst ja sonst wie eine Gemse.
Sieh dorthin, sieh! Was dort sich weist, ist meiner Mutter ihrem warnenden Blick. Sie winkt mir zurück.
Hilf, Samuel. Alberne Fratzen. Sieh noch einmal hin.
Agathe, sie springt in den Fluss. Hinab, hinab, ich muss. Agathe, sie springt in den Fluss. Agathe, hinab, ich muss. Hinab, ich muss. Hinab, ich muss.
Hier bin ich. Was habe ich zu tun?
Hier drin gehst.
Nein,
Willst du selbst gießen?
das ist wieder die Abrede.
Dann tritt aus dem Kreis und kurzes dein Leben. Was du auch hören und sehen magst, verhalte dich ruhig. Nur wenn du mich selbst zittern siehst, komm mir zur Hilfe und rufe, was ich rufen werde. Schon sind wir beide verloren. Still. Und nun den Kugelsegen. Schütze, der im Dunkeln wacht. Samuel, Samuel, hab Acht. Steh mir bei in dieser Nacht, bis der Zauber ist vollbracht. Salbe mir so Kraut als Blei, segne 7, 9 und 3, dass die Kugel tüchtig sei. Samuel, Samuel, herbei! Eins.
Here we can hear Casper counting as he casts each bullet. Here we can hear the mountains echoing each count. Here you can hear the orchestration which Van Weber uses for the first casting of the bullet.
Zwei.
Here you can hear the contrasting orchestration which Weber uses for the second bullet which is cast, and this one has a special emphasis on the brass.
Hey.
Here you can hear the orchestration which Weber uses for the third bullet which is cast. Here there is a special emphasis on the strings which play running passively. Here we can hear the orchestration used for the fourth bullet. Here there is a running triplet figure in arpeggios. Here, for the casting of the fifth bullet, we can hear a syncopated, dotted rhythm figure in the brass. For the sixth bullet, There is a mixture of orchestration. We can hear the strings and the brass playing a majestic figure with lightning and thunder in the background. For the seventh and final bullet, Caspar calls on Samuel to curse this bullet.